start to a new day. Have a guy coming to buy this old iron horse here. I was going to make a generator or a mini bike out of it, but it's gone. Don't really need it anymore, so that's gone. Okay, so I'm just starting to work on the motorhome again. Just getting ready to do my lighting system. I'm not going to use nowhere near any of these. There's 20 of these light strips here with the aluminum heat sinks. Basically, I'm going to run 3 batteries here. Those guys up with that 4-gauge wire. And yeah, I'm going 4-gauge, a little bit heavier duty. Got this disconnect I'm going to integrate. Then I'm going to go to a 40 amp breaker to this fuse panel here, which I'm only going to have 5 amp fuses in it. And I'm going to go from there to pretty much all my lights, to my switches. I'm going to have a voltmeter on a toggle switch so I can turn it on and off as I need to. Just a basic Princess Auto one. This light here, I'm going to modify it to LED, so I'm going to cut some strips to fit in there. Got a bunch of loom for the wires. Anyway, I'll videotape as I go along and see how it turns out. Okay, so I just took the cover off this light here, so when I'm going to be swapping the LED, just tin. Got some little 5 amp switches there. Aluminum on these, very thin, as you can see there. I took the heat sink off, so using that too. So what I'm going to do now is cut this and decide how I'm going to run it, but I got to drill out these rivets first. Yeah, well, anyway, never got that far on here. Just started putting everything together. Get back to you guys more about that later. Kind of made a mess here. Old man got drunk.
I did not.
And destroyed his pewter. As you can see, it's all in pieces there. He decided to dump coffee over it. So, but thank God I was here to tell him to pull out the battery within about a few seconds. So we gave her a little bit of a internal cleaning, and thank God most of it landed on the keyboard and CD-ROM drive, or DVD drive. Not much of it hit the board or anything, so chances are it might be good. So we'll just have to wait till the morning and find out. So yeah, you got drunk. Yeah, I buy myself a case of beer and tell him not to touch it. And what did you do?
Drank it.
He drank it.
It was there.
I bought a case of beer to do this project, and he went to drink 8 of my beer in about 2 hours, and I only had 2. Yeah, that's true. So, but anyway, so that's why there's nothing really done on this. Anyway, some more stuff done in the motorhome, but it's, you know, what is it, 5:15 in the morning right now, so I'm not going to start doing that. Anyway, get back to you guys probably tomorrow once this is ready to be installed. Well, laptop's back together, but as you can see, some defectiveness on the screen. A little bit white spot, but as you can see, you can still see through it. It's just a little bit tricky. Anyway, that took me away from doing this. Kind of sucks. Defects because my dad turned it upside down and coffee went down the screen. So, yeah, anyway, that's not that big of a deal. Still working on this. Working on my custom charge controller, doing a few mods to that. That's going to be for my solar panel there. So, anyway, I got my booster studs, I could say, because I got basically my positive. You unscrew this will kill the main power. I know it's all a mess right now. That's my buck converter for 19 volts for a computer. This is my grounding studs here. My lighting here, which is very close to my soldering iron, which is on. And basically there's wires everywhere right now. These are my main wires coming in, the big heavy duty 4-gauge cables, as you can see right here. There's some other wires there that they're kind of hooked up right now. What I'm going to be doing now is wiring up my charge controller. I just put custom heavier leads on them, kind of filled in some solder traces on here just to make it a little bit heavier duty. As for cooling, not going to worry about it. I'm not going to be running no, it's rated for 7 amps, but I'm not going to be pushing no 7 amps. I think a 40 watt, I can't remember, that puts out what, 40 watts, I think that's 2 amps maybe. Anyway, I guess I'll get back to you guys in a little bit. So last night was a little bit of a late one. Computer at least is working, saves me having to go pick up another one, because that's the computer that we use in the shop, or in the motorhome we'll be using. So being with the screen bad like that, I might be running to work and grabbing a new screen, because we have them in stock at my work. It's only $60, so that's not too big of a deal, but at least the rest of the hardware was fine. Whole motherboard was just soaked, like not the whole motherboard, but like it was pretty bad. So, but whatever. Keyboard, I ended up cleaning the keyboard off immediately with water, since the coffee got spilt on it, so it was fine. A whole cup of coffee got dumped right across the keyboard, so my dad, of course, getting drunk on my beer that he never paid for. So I buy myself a case of beer, which I usually do at the odd time, and he fucks me over by stealing my beer and doing that. Like, come on, man. What's the matter with you? Well, anyway, got my little battery there hooked up to her, just quickly, temporary. Tested the whole system, everything's working good. It's ready to be installed. I know it might look like nothing right now, but got my little light up volt gauge there. I changed it to a LED light. All I had was some chinky Chinese blue LED lights there, but whatever, it worked. Got my fuse panel there. I'm using, what was it, 8 out of the 10 spots. The bottom ones there, down there are just spares. I got my charging studs if I want to hook it up to a big battery charger instead of solar, or to a generator for charging. I just got that little inverter hooked up, just testing all my wires. Tested everything's of course working fine. I'll show you what I have going on the back side here. Okay, so on the back side I got my negative coming in here to just a stud with all my negative connections. This here is my solar input here. So when I hook up my solar cell, it'll go out to here. Going to be using that solar panel mostly there. And I'm just going to be making a cord that goes with it. I'm thinking I might just keep their standard connectors like that. Not too sure yet. Anyway, this is a 19 volt buck converter, so it converts 12 volt to 19. And I got it on a long cord, which at the end of that long cord, if I can find it in this hoard pile, is that guy right there, which plugs into my computer. So that saves having to run a 100 watt inverter to go from 12 volt to 120 volt, then back down to 19. It's just more simpler to go from 12 to 19. It's much more efficient. As you can see, I got 3 LED lights here, which I could shut off. Those LED lights come on with voltage gauge. This switch here is what would power the buck converter, because I don't want to leave that guy running if it's not hooked up, even though it actually draws, like, yeah, it's actually not, I don't see any difference in draw. You can see my wires for my charge controller. I actually took this apart, soldered the wires right in, so, and the charge controller goes back to a 5 amp fuse in the panel, and then just back through here. This is a 40 amp relay, or not relay, breaker. This here is the main disconnect, if I want to kill the whole system, as you can see there. And basically I got the 2 studs here, simple enough. When I want to charge, I can hook on the clips there, or if I want to run a 3000 watt inverter, I can just hook it up here. These wires here, I just taped them off for now. We got a 300 watt inverter that will stay up in this corner. I just gotta watch out not to put this down onto that metal right there, you know what I mean? That could make some sparks, so. Anyway, that's it pretty much. Wasn't too bad. Again, I'm just rushing to build it. That's why it looks pretty messy, but all I can do now is go start installing it in the motorhome. So, and as for lighting, again, I'm going to be using those guys right there. There we go, ready to be installed. I just got to cut my cables to length, and of course, wire up my batteries right there. So I'll be using those semi-truck batteries. They're not deep cycle marine batteries, so I'll have to make sure to keep them well charged. Which hopefully with the solar it ends up being okay. Those we got those pretty cheap, so I'm not worried about that. Virtually, you know, free, you could say. Just had to exchange some cores for them. Pick them out of a garbage pile if you really want to know. But anyway, so these here, Where that there is ready to be installed. It's a little bit too late tonight. It's 2 in the morning, so I'll be doing that tomorrow. And now for the fun part, to clean up my mess. Holy shit. Fun. Okay, so here's a little bit of an update. Floor's still super messy. There's my power panel ready to go back in. Just finishing up raising the beds. Not going to use those because they're kind of, you know, moldy. Anyway, going to get the Husqvarna saw going. I just got to change the fuel vent on it. I already bought a new one. Tighten the chain, go through it. Solar panel just in the corner there. Anyway, we're just raising the bed up by 6 inches because the bed was way too low. Then we got to install this carpet. I'm just copying some movies for the motorhome, so hoping to get that done soon. Just put away everything here for the winter because when we come back, every time there's almost always snow, so I got everything under tarps for once in my life. You can still see the exhaust stick or stack sticking out of the diesel. Yard's, you know, pretty decently clean. Hide your ass crack. Hide your ass crack. Coming in with the camera. Having fun sleeping on the job there?
Yeah.
Well, that'll work out good to cover that. As you guys can see, I'm making an update video, Dad. There'll be some storage in there to put the chainsaw right there. He's just boxing it off. Be a great van for smuggling stuff from the States. That probably they would look at this van, they'd probably say, "Oh God, no! Remove your bed." That's what they'd probably say. Remove your bed, because underneath those, there's actually storage under there, but we just filled them in with insulation. So that center back one is where the battery's going.
Yeah, in here.
In there is where the battery's going. Cupboards. Just brought it to a buddy's house the other day and built us some cupboards. Now you might say, "Where's the doors?" Well, these are designed to fit milk crates. So it fits 6 milk crates. The power panel for the batteries are all going into that corner right there. Spice rack. Yeah, it's a redneck mobile home.
You know what you need to do? You need a drill with a drill bit about that big.
A 1 inch or 3/4 inch?
Yeah, so you can drill finger holes to lift our board up.
To be honest,
otherwise that's going to be a real pitch hole.
I'll just put a screw in there and grab the screw.
No, because that's going to be your bed, dumbass. Yeah, you can do that too, but...
There, I can just lift it with my knife. Makes it look more hidden.
Whatever. You're going to have storage under there too. So.
Yeah, the storage will continue down there. Yeah, that looks crooked there, Dad.
Yeah, well, the whole motorhome's crooked. All the walls are crooked.
Yeah, it's higher up the bed here than over there because you can't really see here, but from here to the edge of the motorhome, the whole edge of the motorhome is down by about a 1/2 inch. It's pretty much... Hey, settle down there. The only thing holding this motorhome up is the internal plywood. The old plywood in the walls is pretty much rotten. The roof is really redneck. This is just high heat wood stove paint. I just painted the roof here because last year I think it got a little hot. So, yeah. So we're going to try to keep the wood stove a little bit colder. It looks very horrible right now, but anyway, just a little bit of an update.